Hello, everyone.
Hello.
Welcome to
The podcast.
No.
Oh.
Fact or fiction.
No.
Facts that could be fiction. That's what it should be called.
Okay.
Did you know spider webs were used as bandages in ancient times?
No.
In ancient Greece and Rome, doctors used spider webs to make bandages for their patients.
Interesting.
Right? Have we made them an enemy?
I feel... Oh.
But they're only here to bandage our wounds?
Oh, my God. This gets real deep. The podcast gets real deep.
Today's episode is brought to you by Birch Living.
Birch makes organic, non-toxic mattresses made right here in America and shipped straight to your door with no contact delivery, free shipping, free returns, and a 100-night sleep trial. Birch mattresses are made here in America with just 3 materials sourced straight from nature: organic latex, New Zealand wool, and American steel springs. Birch mattresses also have amazing cooling properties. The all-natural wool is ultra breathable, allowing your body to get a comfortable sleeping temperature quicker and maintain it throughout the night. So no more waking up feeling hot and sticky.
That is the actual worst. I personally love the fact that it helps me to fall asleep faster because I hate laying in bed just like rolling around. You know what I mean?
Who does?
Who does?
Who doesn't?
Who doesn't? Birch is giving $200 off all mattresses and 2 free EcoRest pillows at birchliving.com/advice. That's $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free EcoRest pillows. birchliving.com/advice. Today's episode is brought to you by Canva.
Canva Pro is a design platform that empowers you to create and share stunning content in just a few clicks. Whether you're a design professional or just getting started, designing with Canva Pro is amazingly fast and fun. And my favorite part is you can choose from thousands of professionally made templates that are easy to customize with simple drag and drop features, or you can start from scratch if you're feeling a little creative. Sharing, creating, and organizing designs as a group has never been easier. Canva Pro helps you stay on top of your team projects all in one place, so there's no more misplaced files or tedious back and forth.
And if you guys are questioning how much we love Canva, just head over to our Instagram because you will see plenty of their,
So much
fingerprint on our stuff. Design like a pro with Canva Pro. Right now, you can get a free 45-day extended trial when you use our promo code. Just go to canva.me/advice to get your free 45-day extended trial. That's canva.me/advice. Canva.me/advice.
What is up, everyone?
Hello.
Welcome back to the podcast. My name's Ashley.
I'm Taryne.
And this is Unsolicited Advice, where we are here to advise you
Yes, we are.
on all the situations
Wait.
you might be going through.
I'm sorry, I totally just cut you
Yeah,
off.
you really did.
We should tell the story of what happened last night.
Oh my gosh. You guys. I have never, you guys already know this. I live in a house with Taryne.
Yes.
And the two of us, live in a house with my sister. So it's 3 girls, a lot of female energy going on in that house. Last night, I was in my room, Taryne was in her room. We were getting ready for bed. It was later. Alicia had been downstairs. Next thing I know, she's screaming my name.
Yeah.
And not just like a little bit. Like it sounds like something really bad is going on. I immediately start going downstairs, but she starts saying it's a bug. So I start calming down and I'm like, oh, this girl, because she gets very dramatic when it comes to spiders. She might have a phobia. We don't know, TBD.
I think it's
it's pretty bad. And I think it's been like that since she was a kid. So it's just like, I'm sure a lot of you guys can relate. So I'm going to just go ahead and say it. I start rolling my eyes because I'm imagining, she says there's this bug flying around. I'm imagining a tiny little beetle, like a tiny little something.
Yeah.
I was like, it's not that big of a deal.
And she only called your name, which when she knows she's being dramatic, she usually calls you.
She's like, Ashley.
Yeah. So I was like, okay, it's not that bad. Like,
she didn't call Taryne
yet.
Taryne's like the backup,
Yeah.
So then I go downstairs and we have one of those electric fly swatters. I grab it and I prepare myself to, kill said bug. she says it's flying and it's hitting something. So I'm looking around, can't find it. And then but from behind me, screams a deep, like, bloody murder scream.
Yeah.
And I jump because the scream scares me. And then I get mad at her because I'm like, would you stop?
Yeah, like, you're
making
so
this
dramatic.
so much worse than it already is. And then the next thing I know, I see the bug, and I'm not kidding. Like, the size, it looked like the size of a cockroach, like a big cockroach. Yeah. And it flies like some cockroaches do.
Yeah.
In my head, it was a cockroach, and it started flying right at me. And then I did one of those deep guttural screams because in my head it was a flying cockroach and it was coming at me. So then Taryne comes down.
Well, by this point, Alicia's at the stairs going, Taryne! And she calls me and she's like, help! So I'm like, okay, something's going on.
Yeah. It was really bad. Yeah. I'm sitting there. It's starting to, like, circle in the ceiling, and it's hitting the lamps, and I'm sitting there with the electric fly swatter just wailing and flailing it in the air, trying to possibly I wasn't even trying to hit it. I was just trying to keep it away from me. And then it finally lands on the floor right about the time Taryne comes, and we realize it's a beetle, but it's a giant beetle.
They're huge, and we've seen a couple of them recently. And they're massive. They're, like, striped. We'll post a picture and video.
Prehistoric beetle size. And it is huge. We'll post the whole thing. Alicia, of course, was useless except for the fact that she got it all on camera.
She did get it on camera.
So she filmed a lot of it.
We were so mad because we're like, you're the one who let it in. Yeah. Like, and we're over here, like, freaking out.
Like, it's summertime. The lights were on in the house, and she had left the door open so the dogs could go out. What do you expect? Bugs come in when they see the light. So, it was her fault. Taryne had to grab a broom. I caught it, and then Taryne took a bowl and put the bowl on top of it. So then
I had the most terrifying job.
We took a break, and then we, like, relaxed a little bit. And then we had to get it out somehow. In my head, I was like, I'm going to just let it die. It won't survive the night. And then, but Taryne got it out.
It was too big to, like, that's why June bugs freak me out so much because, like, when you step on them, they, like, pop, like, they're big. And that thing was so big.
I just got full body chills. That would have been like
killing a small mouse. Like, I couldn't do it. So I let it outside and then, like, ran inside. It was terrifying. But anyways, that was our night last night.
It was hilarious. It was really funny.
It was definitely, like, a funny roommate.
I literally
situation.
I sat back down I laid back down in bed, and then Alicia sent me the video, and I must have rewatched it like 5 times because it was just too good.
We'll definitely post it.
Oh my God.
I have a Taryne it up, and I'm so excited because I never get to read one. Okay. Hi, Ashley and Taryne. My name is Kylie, and I've been listening to the podcast since the very beginning. Before I start this hilarious Taryne it up, I would like to let you guys know I'm an Enneagram 8. Anyways, here we go. A couple of weeks ago, I went to visit a friend of mine in Arizona. A couple of nights into the trip, both my friend and I wanted to shower. So being the nice person I am, I let her go first. That's so funny because I feel like at vacation, I definitely felt that. There's like this shower etiquette, right? Like you want to be the first to go, but you're like, I can't always be the first to go.
Yeah.
And then if you're the first to go, you have to like hurry your shower. But if you're the last to go, you have to like sit there forever waiting. So it's like, it's hard to know like where you fall and like what's the best. But anyways. Okay. Yeah. When she was done, I grabbed my pink towel, started the shower, stripped, and started to walk into the tub. As soon as my foot hit the bottom of the tub, it immediately slid and started flying, causing me to do the splits, making my knee, that I have a prior injury, smash into the side of the tub. I was so far into the splits, I lost all hope and had to flop over the side and lay on my back in the bathtub. There I was laying on my back, water hitting my face, butt naked, questioning life. Not only did I just wipe out in a shower that is not even mine, but my dignity was not in fact fine. After I told my friend and her family what had happened and we all laughed so hard we almost peed, we came to the conclusion that there was probably leftover conditioner that was in there and that I stepped and slipped on. Still, something about the situation did not feel right to me. That is until a couple of days later, after I'd gone home, I got a text from my friend. It said, "Hey, Kylie, so you know that new body wash that I got and used when I was in the shower before you showered? Yeah, well, turns out it was lotion."
Oh, no.
So it was not just me having too much momentum stepping into the shower or leftover hair product.
Right.
Only I would have that bad luck. And Taryne, of course.
Oh,
Girl,
and Taryne, of course. That is why the segment is called Tearing It Up.
I see you. It definitely did not help my ego that lotion was almost the end of me. So the moral of the story, do not be the nice person and let your friend shower before you, and always check your body wash to make sure it's not lotion. As soon as this happened to me, I knew that Taryne probably has done something similar. So if you don't read this on the podcast, I hope you read it and have a laugh. Sincerely, Kylie.
Oh, Kylie.
Girl, dude, I think I talked about this before, but I've only fallen in the shower really bad once.
Yeah.
And it was like, you know, the short bathtub showers, right?
Yeah,
like
yeah.
I have one now, but it has
those.
glass doors. I was finished. What was I? Oh, I took a bath. So then the water was still pretty full and going down. And I put my foot on the edge of it to like start drying my leg. And the second my foot hit, it slipped. Oof. So I flew backwards and my spine hit the freaking faucet.
No.
And there was a quick second as I lay there like drowning in the bathtub with my towel that I was like, am I going to die right now? Like, what if I'm paralyzed? Because my back hurts so bad. And my roommates came like running and were like, do you need help? And I was like, no, look away. Like, don't come. But yeah, it's a weird feeling, especially because like, it's always like the butt of a joke, right? Like the old lady who falls in the shower.
Right.
That was me.
Yeah, I've only had it happen. I've only had it happen to me once. And it's scary because people get hurt. Like, that's very dangerous.
Yeah, and usually you have a door locked or, you know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
yeah.
It's, maybe we need to change the way.
I'd break down a door for you.
I'd break down a door for you. Girl. I'm certified in CPR and first aid. Don't you worry.
For that.
Are you?
No.
Well,
should we take a class together?
Yeah. I actually have a class coming up. Would you like to come?
Yes.
Okay, let's go.
Guys,
I have to for my job, so gotta keep up.
You want me as your friend?
I will. I will once
I'm certified.
So with old age, which me and Ash are, we're getting up there.
Stop it. Speak for yourself.
We're getting up there. I feel so old when I talk about like my mattress and how important my like pillow support,
my things that come with your 30s.
Yes, like it's breathable. I'm not getting hot at night. Like those things are the things that make me happy.
Oh, they matter. Yeah.
Yes. So when we got the chance to partner with Birch Living and get our mattress on, we were like, okay.
Sign me up. Say less. Guys, if you don't know, Birch makes organic, non-toxic mattresses that's made right here in America and shipped straight to your door with, get this, no contact delivery, free shipping, free returns, and a 100-night sleep trial. Can I get an amen on the 100-night sleep trial? We love that. Since Birch mattresses are made with premium organic materials, you won't experience any type of harsh off-gassing you might find with other mattresses in a box, making Birch an amazing choice for families and children. My absolute favorite part about Birch mattresses is that they have a cooling property, which is a big deal for me because I'm a hot sleeper.
Yeah.
The all-natural wool is ultra breathable, which is amazing, allowing your body to get to that comfortable sleeping temperature a lot quicker. And the best part, maintain it. The cool temperature. It'll help you maintain it through the night, which is mind-boggling, and I love it. So no more waking up feeling hot and sticky. Hell yeah.
Birch is giving $200 off all mattresses and 2 free EcoRest pillows at birchliving.com/advice. That's $200 off all mattress orders and 2 free EcoRest pillows. birchliving.com/advice. So I definitely would say like I'm very creative. I have a talent in being creative, but it's more in like the thinking up of it. Where I struggle is actually making what's in my head like come to life.
A reality.
So when we started with socials, like I had all these ideas, but like I had a hard time knowing how to do it. And honestly, finding Canva Pro was like such a game changer.
Saved our
because
lives.
they have so many different templates that I could look at and be like, yes, that is what I was looking for. It's easy to create within it. And I honestly think it helped me to take my socials game to the next level.
Guys, Canva Pro comes with endless premium fonts, photos, videos, and so much more that add personality and edge to absolutely whatever you're creating. My favorite part and Taryne's favorite part are the templates. They have thousands of professionally made templates that are easy to customize with simple drag and drop features. Or you could, if you're feeling a little spicy, you could start from scratch and do it all on your own. With Canva Pro's content planner, you'll save time planning, creating, and posting social media content too. Pause scheduled posts and edit them at any time. That is a game changer if you are a content creator, you are constantly posting on multiple platforms, and it gets stressful. And it's really nice when you can schedule it and not have to stress about it.
Design like a pro with Canva Pro. Right now, you can get a free 45-day extended trial when you use our promo code. Just go to canva.me/advice to get your free 45-day extended trial. That's canva.me/advice. Canva.me/advice.
Amazing. I love the Tearing It Ups. I'm going to go ahead and get into my story today. This is a good one.
Oh,
this is a good one.
I'm ready.
This one is titled Always Falling for the Wrong Ones.
Oh, did I write this?
And I was like, wait, did I steal your joke? Did I just steal your joke?
I saw your face of like,
I was like, oh, that was literally my next line. That's fine. This is why Taryne and I get along so well, because we go through a lot of life stuff together.
We do. Well, I wonder like what our friendship would be like if I had like gotten married years ago.
Oh, I feel like it would be very similar. You would just be supporting me through all my struggles.
Yeah, and you'd be like spending the night all the time.
I feel like me and your guy would be homies.
Oh, of course.
And I would be welcome on the couch all the time. Yeah. So I would just come over and vent about, the jerk who was being, jerkly. A jerk.
Jerkly.
And yeah.
Well, I feel like that's the older I've gotten, the more I'm like I'll meet a guy and I'm like, I feel like you would clash. It's either you would clash with my brothers or my best friends, and that's like a deal breaker.
That's a deal breaker.
Deal breaker.
That's where we're at in life. Anyways. Okay, let's get into it.
If you want to get with me, what is it? If you want to be my lover,
you gotta get with my friends. Okay, we're not gonna sing. We're not gonna do that for you.
Well, we did.
Hi, Taryne and Ash. She had to switch it up in parentheses.
Thanks,
guys. It's alphabetical order always. Ash comes first.
Or it's who's your favorite.
First off, I started listening to you guys at the beginning of COVID. Went back and caught up on all of the old episodes. Girl, that is commitment, and I'm so proud of you. You two have saved me so many times over the last year, and I can't even describe how amazing you two are. Thank you for being so open and so vulnerable every week. Keep flourishing, queens.
Wow, okay. I will.
I feel fantastic right now.
Me too.
Thank you for all those compliments. Some background. I'm 31 years old, and I am a 6 on the Enneagram. I finally took the test, and oh my God, did I feel seen. So long story short, I ended a 5.5-year relationship during quarantine, and I've been single for a year now. I've been dating, and every time I get close to someone, they tell me they don't want anything serious. I keep falling for the, quote, nice guys, and yet they always end up screwing me over.
Yep.
They take me out on dates and lead me on, and then absolutely nothing. At this point, I'm wondering if something's wrong with me. Why do these men who seem so genuine keep abandoning me? Which, by the way, is my worst fear played out over and over and over again.
As a 6, yeah, right? Isn't that like their main core fear?
Like loyalty is like what they cherish.
Yeah.
Yeah. I guess my question is, why am I attracting the same type of person even though I know I'm worth so much more than a random hookup? I know my worth, and yet I find myself catering to these men. Sorry for the long email, and even if you don't read this, it felt so great to get all of this out. Love you two so much, and thank you for making me feel seen every single week. Best wishes, Haley.
Well, I know why you picked this story.
I mean, I feel seen and heard just by reading this email. I read it last night and I was in bed by myself watching season 2 of
By myself.
Outer Banks.
In my bed alone.
Oh, my dog was with me, but
The cobwebs on the other side.
the cold side of the pillow.
Can I just say?
Yeah, go ahead.
So me and Ash have never been in like a relationship in our friendship, like not with each other, even though everyone just assumes.
Can we clarify something?
Everyone assumes.
During our entire friendship, neither of us have been in a committed relationship.
You have had a handful of like dating, not like committed, but like we're dating.
I date a lot.
Yeah.
I have not since we've been friends have I been in an actual
Committed,
like, serious relationship.
And so we have two different like styles, dating style, whatever. I'm very old school, like to a fault, like very traditional. For me, like I don't want to date someone unless I see a potential, because for me, I'm the type that like when I go into something, I go with so much of my heart that it's dangerous for me to just like throw that around easily. So I'm like more of like a flinger, like, oh, we're hanging out, we're having fun, whatever. But like I don't let myself even get to a point where I feel like we're even dating unless I see a potential. So I rarely go out on dates, but when I do, it's usually something that turns into like, they want more, and then I'm like, I don't know if I do, and I freak out and run away.
Got it.
Ash is a dater. She loves to go on dates. She has her date routines. It's a like well-known thing, and she
by date routine, it's just me. Like I
starts at like
love
4.
dates. I love dates. I love dates. It's let's say I'm meeting him at like 7:30. A girl has already like face mask, eye mask. I've done all the things, and I just love
music's
I love getting ready. Well, I think what it is it's not necessarily dates. I just love to get dressed up and get ready.
Yeah.
It's one of my favorite things to do. So when I have a legit reason, like a date or an event or whatever, I love taking my time and listening to music and sipping an espresso while I'm like getting ready. It's fun for me.
Yeah.
Okay.
But for whatever reason, and it bothers me to no end, and I feel like this is going to help whoever. Wait, did she give a name?
Haley,
sorry. Just so you don't feel alone, because this is mind-blowing to me, but Ash has experienced the same string of like great dates. They seem interested. We're flowing. She also is like freaking way even above a 10, like beautiful, has her life together, great personality. And I see her when she walks out the door, like hot. She looks hot.
I very much appreciate all of this.
She goes on these dates and has this great time, and then these guys have the audacity, and I'm going to pronounce every syllable of that word. Audacity. To ghost her, and it blows my mind every single time it happens.
Yeah.
But you're not the only one either.
No.
And I've heard it from multiple people where it's like, oh my gosh, things are flowing, and then they just never hear a response again.
Yeah.
And I think people are mentally just in a weird, shaky place where committing to stuff feels too big, and they don't have like the emotional intelligence to be able to communicate that. So they just bounce. You know what I mean?
Yeah. And I know this year's been hard.
We get it. You struggled. I'm just kidding. I struggled.
And I would love to say that this is the first time that something like this, not necessarily just ghosting, but just like guys like this in general has happened, but it's not. It's just kind of how it is. So I have Haley also multiple times walked into Taryne's room and been like, what am I doing to attract these guys? And also, why am I attracted to them? Like, I wouldn't be dating them if I wasn't, or going out with them or talking with them. And to like be very honest. I feel like I have never once pressured anyone for a serious relationship. I have never once been like, hey, so what are we doing here? Let's define what we're doing here. Never, because I also hate those conversations.
Yeah.
So I have never done that. But then I'll meet these guys that'll just like kill it. Like kill it for a month, for 2 months, for almost 3 months, and then just like bounce. And it's the weirdest feeling. I think I'm starting to like handle it a little bit better every single time.
You fully are. You know what the difference is? Before, you were very focused on what's wrong with me.
Yeah.
And the fact of the matter, and this is for you too, Haley, nothing is wrong with you.
Right.
Like, that is not your problem.
No.
If someone can so easily lead someone on and then just walk away without even having just the respect to be like, hey, I've had so much fun talking to you, but I'm just like not interested right now. Like, it's not that freaking hard.
Yeah, it's also not that deep. Okay, I'm also 31. So Haley, I feel like we're the same person.
Besties. Actually, back off. No,
the older I get, the more degaff I get.
Okay.
And I mean that in the best way. It doesn't mean that I don't care, but the less I allow my emotions to get involved. So like the last time that this happened, which low-key was kind of recently, I was so surprised by how more angry I felt than sad. Where in the past I would have been not devastated because it obviously we hadn't promised each other anything.
No, but you let it affect your self-view.
Yes.
Yes.
And it would have affected how I view myself.
Yes.
And who I am. But now the older I get, the more I'm like, ew, he's gross.
Yeah.
He wasted my time. He's a coward. And thank God it didn't go any further.
Yeah.
It's frustrating. And you should allow yourself to be frustrated because it was a waste of time. But that's on him.
Yeah.
You know? And if you are looking for something serious and you're looking for something committed, then ain't nobody got time for what's going on over there.
No.
Like that's not what we're here for. So I know this probably sounds like kind of cliche, but honestly, you dodge a bullet every single time you encounter that uncomfortableness or the moment that they ghost. It's frustrating, but in the end, it's saving you so much more because I'd much rather you find out now than a ways down the road.
And like it's that whole thing where people are like, how do I know when I found the right one? And it's like, you know when you do. Like you're gonna find people that come into your life that are not meant to be. And it's hard, but it also I feel like is why wait, I had two thoughts. Hold on. Oh, okay. So 2 things.
Yeah.
One is I think that's why, especially as women who are so emotionally involved, and men too, I think that's why it's wise to be to take time to think about what you're willing to give someone in those first couple dates, because the fact of the matter is in this day and age, I knew that was going to sound weird, but I just went for it. In this day and age, like dating is very weird. Like you don't know who you're dating right away. We're doing this whole like online thing. So it's more than likely that it's not going to be something that is a forever thing.
Right.
So don't go in and give these people stuff that is going to hurt you in the end. Like think about it. And also I feel I have found, and I've mentioned a few times, like I'm very upfront with like, I'm not going to have sex with you. And I feel like that has really helped for me to know like, and it's not a like judgmental thing like, oh, like, are you a good person or not? It's just me being like, hey, this is my choice that I've made. And obviously I'm not putting that on you. So if you're not down, like totally get it. I respect you. But like now you can make an educated decision. So, and for me, it's great because it weeds out a lot of guys that are just in it for something physical or like a really quick like fling type thing.
Yeah.
And I go into it being like, oh, that's cool. And you're leaving because that's your choice. And I'm sticking to like what I've chosen.
Yeah.
So I think it's why you need to be careful in the beginning. I feel like it's almost flipped. Like I feel like people feel like, oh, I need to like freaking give all my cookies out on the first date so that they'll stay around.
Yeah.
But in fact, like, I think it almost has the opposite effect, you know, especially for the people who are going in it for the wrong reasons. Second thought, while I do agree with you, and we've had this talk, I think there is a danger too of becoming too detached.
Yes.
Because I think that people, you know, if I go on a date with a guy who's like, I don't really care, like, what happens, I'll feel that disconnect and I'll be like, I don't trust that you're a safe person for me to, like, go into something more.
Yes.
So
Which Taryne and I have had multiple conversations about how I cold shoulder possibly.
Yes. So part of opening your heart to things, there's two things that could happen. You can get hurt, or you can find something that's beautiful, but you can't have one or the other. There's not a way to only open it up to certain things. There's a way to be cautious in how you approach things, but I think that it's one thing to put up this thing of like, hey, I'm going into this, whatever happens, happens, but at the end of the day, I know who I am and I know what I'm worth.
Yeah.
Or going in being like, I'm not even going to care if, like, what this guy does, because that'll show in how you interact too. So I think people want to feel like you're a safe person for them to let their walls down. But also it's that internal wall that you need to also be aware of.
Absolutely.
Going into it.
Absolutely. And you know what, Haley, I'm going to throw another thing at you. I don't know whether you are meeting these guys in person or meeting them online, but either way, something that has happened within the last, I don't know, 5 to 8 years is daily texting. And I think there's a false sense of intimacy that comes with constantly talking through text messages. I do think like FaceTime and phone calls are in a different category. But still, I think the daily text that kind of gives you that little bit of a butterfly, that kind of makes you feel like, oh, they really like me.
Yeah,
and
like
I'm really connected. They
me.
said good night. They said good morning. Like all of those little things. I think they do something to you and it makes you feel attached to them really quickly. And I think something that I've learned in my life is that is a very dangerous thing. So obviously, if you want to text them, text them. If they're texting you, respond. But I don't get too dependent on those like good morning texts and constant texting, because I think that's a slippery slope and it's not actual intimacy.
Yeah, well, and then if they have like one day where they were busy, you start questioning and like, what's
You're like,
wrong?
Oh my God, are they ghosting? And it's like, no, they're living their life.
No, and you have to wait till someone gives you a reason not to trust them.
Don't assume, but that's something that happens when you get
for sure.
invested, especially in the day-to-day texting.
I think too, and I don't know, I am a very like upfront person, like especially when it comes to like talking. Like I'm much more of like, hey, like I just want to know, like, are you talking to other people? Like, if you are, that's fine. Like, but I'm not a one of many type of person. So like, I just need to know so I can make a decision moving forward, you know?
And I think I've actually learned a lot from Taryne in that aspect, where I'd much rather, as a non-confrontational person, I would much rather, not have to bring this up personally. I'd rather them bring it up and then me respond. But it's gotten so much better and life has gotten a lot easier for me to just call it as it is from the beginning and be like, I'd rather bring attention to it now and be in control of the narrative and make it very clear, like, here's my boundary. If you can't handle that, that's fine, but I'm going to bounce.
Yeah, no, for sure. Like we all have so much power and I think we give it away very nonchalantly. So I think like from what I'm hearing, the way that you're talking, Haley, you're very much in that place of like, what's wrong with me and why am I attracted to a specific type?
Honey,
I don't think it's a
fine.
specific type. I think just you date a bunch of guys that suck until you date the guy that's amazing.
I was going to say, and it's the one for a reason.
Yeah, like if one of those guys was a great guy, you wouldn't be like, oh, he's the same type of the other, because he would be great. You know what I mean? Like you're going to kiss a bunch of frogs before you find your prince. Like it's what happens. But I think we quickly can start to tie self-worth to us being rejected by other people. But I've said it so many times on here. think about the fact, like, if you were to look at a person, there's so many guys I see and I'm like, I'm not attracted to them, but that doesn't mean that you're not attracted to them.
Right.
Like, we're not all meant to be each other's person.
Right.
So don't take offense to it. Just like you would hope the people who like you're not attracted to not to take offense to that either.
Yeah.
Like, you'll find the one when you find the one, or one of many, or whatever you want to do. But that does not have an effect on who you are.
Yeah. And I'm going to say one more thing.
Say it, Ash.
Okay. You said that you were in a relationship for 5.5 years, and that ended during quarantine, and that you've been dating these horrible guys for the last year. I'm wondering, and I'm gonna just say it, maybe we should take a break from dating.
Yes. I'm such an advocate for singleness, and I know you are too.
Yes.
I don't know why everyone thinks it's such a shameful thing. It's beautiful.
Yeah, and I don't know you, Haley. I don't know your situation, but I know that it is very hard to go from being in a relationship to single. Like, I'm sure that that's I've never been in a
Especially after 5 years, yeah.
5.5 year relationship. That's a long time. I'm curious how much better it would be for you to just simply sit and focus on you and do what you want to do. And I guarantee you, I feel like you should take the next however allotted amount of time you want to give yourself, a few months, 6 months, year, I don't know, to just simply like be with you and focus on you and your goals and your dreams, and feed into your soul that is clearly still healing from this 5-year breakup. So I'm gonna just throw that out there.
No, I fully agree.
Singleness is healthy and it's good. And I think there's a lot of negativity that goes around it because everyone's like, oh, I got to find my person. But oh my gosh.
Oh, it's beautiful.
Take your time.
Yeah, I agree.
You'll end up with someone. We all will.
Just kidding.
That's funny.
Amazing.
Thank you, Haley, so much for sharing. Not me feeling represented and heard by your email.
I know, seriously, when you're reading it, I was like,
oh,
I get why Ash picked this. She's like, let me tell you. So safety is something that is so freaking important to me and Ash, and a security system is such a game changer. So we find peace in our security system. And fun fact, so do the founders of Simply Safe's home security, because they designed their first system in their kitchen, and they did it because their friends had just had a break-in and they were struggling to find something that was simple to set up and would make them feel safe again. So I feel like they get it.
Yes. One of the things that makes me feel the most safe is when we're going to bed and like one of the roommates is like, hey, I'm setting the alarm. I'm like, oh,
yeah, like now I can turn
thank
in.
God.
Yep.
Guys, making people feel safe is what Simply Safe has been doing ever since that moment 15 years ago. A passion to protect people not only drives every engineering detail in its products, but it motivates every interaction with its customers. And the thing is, Simply Safe just makes it so easy. It takes about 2 minutes to customize a system on their website. And my favorite part is Simply Safe has highly trained security experts ready whenever you need them, whether that's during a fire, a burglary, a medical emergency, or even just to help you set up the system. And all of us out there who struggle with technology appreciate that.
As one of our listeners, you can save 20% on your Simply Safe security system and get your first month free when you sign up for interactive monitoring service. Just visit simplysafe.com/advice to customize your system and start protecting your home and family. That's simplysafe.com/advice. Okay, so let's go ahead and go into my story. This one is called My Best Friend is Wasting Away. I know. Okay. Hi, Taryne and Ashley.
Hey.
Another Taryne and Ashley.
Get out of here, guys. Get out of here.
It's a movement. It only feels right to start by saying the obvious, but I just love you gals so much, and your podcast brings me so much joy. I work in a hospital, and listening to your podcast on my way to and from work has helped me with easing my anxiety and stress, especially over the last year. I feel like you're my friends along for a car ride with me.
Oh, I love that. 'Cause
We are. Anyways, on to the actual situation. I currently live with my best friend. We're both in our mid-20s and have been friends for 10 plus years. We know pretty much every detail of each other's lives given our timeline. A lot of people say, be careful living with a friend. It can cause problems or even lead to a friendship breakup. And to be completely honest, we're great friends and have had no issues living together at all. We are both pretty unproblematic and it hasn't affected our friendship in any way. I'm writing because since moving in together, I've seen a side to her I've never seen before. She works short shifts and gets off work around noonish every day. After work, she will come home and sleep for anywhere from 3 to 6 hours, not just once in a blue moon, but actually every single day, sleep into the early evening. On top of that, she lets her room get insanely messy, piles up laundry, and cleans it like once a month. Never wants to go out and do fun things or even go on walks to the gym or anything with me. I'm a very clean, organized person who maximizes every hour of every day. I like to stay busy and get things accomplished. I feel so bad because I feel like she is just wasting her life away. She does have anxiety and takes medication, but has refused to see a therapist or do anything to help with her anxiety, such as journal, exercise, etc. I personally don't see the medication working as it hasn't made her less anxious, just more flat and unmotivated. I hate seeing her like this because clearly she's depressed or withdrawn and I don't know what to do. When I try to broach the subject, she dismisses it and just claims I'm fine or I just like to nap or I've always been this messy. But as I mentioned earlier, we've been friends for a long time and this is not her normal behavior. Hopefully all of that made sense despite the jumbled words and backstory. Anything you guys say in response to this would be much appreciated. P.S. I would like to remain anonymous. Your wish is our command. P.P.S. I'm an Enneagram 2, which explains why I feel so attached to the situation, especially being so helpful in nature, but feeling so helpless in this situation. Love, Anonymous.
Anonymous.
I feel like it's funny because I feel like we both picked stories that are very...
Yeah. I was like, huh. I picked one that resonated with me. You picked one that resonated with you.
Yes. I feel like I've definitely talked about it on here.
You have.
I've definitely gone more in depth about just where I've been mentally and emotionally on my YouTube channel,
which everyone should take a second and go watch it because it's really good.
Like
and Taryne gets really vulnerable and it just has a powerful message and you should watch it. Continue.
Thanks, Ash. Yeah, I have been in a rough spot. Definitely the worst, I think, in my life. And it's funny because I went through a pretty like traumatic breakup, but this was definitely worse because I think in that case, I had something to blame. And I think that's where the powerless feeling comes when you're like, why am I just like wasting away or like just like melting down, you know? And I wanted to talk about this because I think I can give a cool perspective of what someone who is having a very low point in life would need. But I felt like you could give a perspective of that helpless feeling of watching on the sidelines and being like, what is happening? We actually just had like a beautiful conversation about this because I'm definitely peeking my head out of the cloud and like starting to take some massive steps. So I feel like strong enough to talk about this. I probably will cry because that's what I do now. But I feel like we're the perfect people to like address this situation.
Anonymous, you could not have picked a perfect people to be vulnerable with this about because Taryne's 100% spot on. We just had this conversation. Wednesday. Yeah. Handful of days ago.
A handful. What days did
fresh in our minds right now? Do you want to go first? You want me to go first?
Why don't you go first?
Okay. Yeah. As we all know, I think a lot of people are going to relate to this story a lot. It's been a weird year. I was depressed. My sister was depressed. Taryne was depressed. It was a dark time. And we all kind of went through waves. And I think it's it's very easy, like Taryne said, when you lose your job or you lose a loved one or there's a breakup or something, it's so much easier to be like, oh, this is why I'm feeling all of these emotions. It's validating to be like, well, it's not my fault. Nothing's wrong with me. Like, I just went through something and I'm trying to, come back from it. And in my personal situation, I feel like that's what I went through. Something happened to me and I had to sit there and process it. But there was a putting it away moment for me where I was able to easily step aside because it had nothing to do with me.
Yeah.
Something that's really difficult when it comes to mental health. And that I'm constantly learning about is not having a reason or someone to point blame at or something to point blame at makes it really difficult because that only causes you to look inward.
Yes,
and then you have to sit there and figure out what is happening with you. And a lot of times you can't do that on your own.
Yeah.
And you have to either have people in your life that you can talk to about it, or obviously, Taryne and I have made it very clear we are very pro therapy, and we highly recommend professional help when necessary.
Yeah.
Something that I am really bad at, and I've said this multiple times on the podcast, is being vulnerable. I am a non-confrontational person, and I will be vulnerable when I feel comfortable. When I don't know what I'm doing, I just freaking moonwalk out of the room, and it's not great. It's not great. Something that I'm not proud of is when Taryne was going through it, she was really going through it. It was pretty dark and I didn't see her a lot of the time. She was in her room, which I like to call her cave. And the AC was blasting and she was wrapped in a blanket and, sweatshirt, sweatpants. And I did not know how to respond to it. I very much, Anonymous, am like you. I love being busy. I love having my routine. I like waking up early. I love journaling and doing all these things that make me feel productive and good, which, I think a lot of that is for me to feel good about myself.
Yeah. Oh my God. Yeah.
But not everyone works that way.
Yeah.
And I think for a while I wanted to bring Taryne in on these things, but she wasn't at a place where she could do that. So because that was how I would come out of a dark place, I didn't know how to help Taryne come out of the dark place. So I didn't really do much because I was scared and didn't know how to handle it. But I thought about her constantly. And it was weird because we live across the hall from each other.
Yeah.
Our rooms are literally across the hall from each other. And I would walk out of my room every day and be like, I wonder if she's good.
Yeah.
Is she awake? Should I wake her up? But then inevitably I'd be like, oh, if she wanted something, she would let me know.
Yeah.
And I partly think that maybe that was my excuse of I don't know what to say. I don't know what to do. So I'm just going to assume that she doesn't want me to come over. But I really feel after having this conversation with Taryne that if I had simply knocked on the door and been like, hey, you want to talk? Do you need something? I feel like that would have gone a long way. And that doesn't require me having to help or do something specific.
Yeah.
It's just showing that I care.
Yeah.
So I think in my head, I thought I had to have everything ready and do something to help pull you out when all Taryne was looking for was a sign that I cared.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking, and then I'm going to wrap this up with this. I'm thinking your friend would appreciate you simply showing up and sitting with her than having a whole plan of how to attack this and get out of it.
Fully.
Right.
Yeah. And obviously I'm just giving you a warning. Tears have already started. So if my voice starts to get high and that's why.
Quivering.
I think what is so hard, and obviously I think what is hard is every situation is different. Mm-hmm. So I can speak to where I'm coming from, and that might resonate with where your friend is coming from, but every situation is different. Mm-hmm. And I'm not on medication. I am in therapy and it's doing wonders, but I can speak to that low place and how it's terrifying. Mm-hmm. You don't know, you don't really know, what is wrong or, to even voice,
what you're feeling, or if someone were to be like, how can I help you? Like, that is way bigger of an answer than like you feel like you can like muster up. And you're trying so hard to hide the pieces of you that are falling apart to just be able to function in society in general.
Yeah.
That you feel like the fact that people are asking you what's wrong, you're like, I messed up. Like, I'm obviously like not hiding it well enough.
They can tell.
Yeah, like people are pitying me. And like, that's, for me, that was like a breaking point too, of like, I can't handle, on top of like what I'm feeling, the fact that like people feel bad for me, because I'm always trying to make sure everyone feels great. So it's that sense of helplessness, that sense of fear, that sense of like, what is wrong with me? Like, am I crazy? And when you enter into that deep, just like, I'm not motivated, I even just waking up in the morning and like taking care of myself is like too much for me. You don't know how to like function in like relationships. And I think what's so hard is people feel this need to fix you, and people feel this need to tell you what to do to be better. And while it's out of a good place, all you're hearing is that they're noticing all the things that are wrong with you too. And you just feel helpless. Like, it's just the freaking worst. And so I think that everyone needs to realize, if you have people going through that, first of all, like, there's nothing that you can say or do that's going to magically make it better.
Right.
It is such a self process. Like, it's something that like I had to figure out on my own to an extent. And the best thing that you can do for those people is to show them with words, with emotions, with time, with presence, that they are loved and that they are perfect just the way they are. Because as soon as I started to feel safe to express stuff, then I started to be able to feel supported and to feel like I could start to face these things. And I had a system of people behind me if I fell apart, you know?
Yeah.
But when you feel like everyone's just trying to, because everyone's always like, oh, well, let's go to the gym together. You don't hear, oh, I'm just trying to help you. You hear, okay, well, obviously, like, you can tell I'm like gaining weight, or obviously you can tell I'm like lazy right now and I don't want to do anything. And it becomes like, when you're that sensitive, every statement somebody says to you triggers something, like anything. So I think the most that you can do for people is to just really over the top affirm them and affirm that they're loved and that they're cared for. And then instead of just assuming that you can fix their problems, just letting them know like, hey, you're my friend. I would not be doing a good job as your friend if I didn't notice that it seems like something's going on. And I just want you to know that I'm here for you. I love you. I support you. And when you're ready to talk about anything, whatever you need, like, I'm here. Like, you don't have to go through this alone. Like, that feels so freeing because you feel in control of like what happens next.
Yeah.
So
No one's pressuring you.
yeah. And you know, I think that your friends, I think she might feel, I know, like, for me and Ash, like, Ash is a very motivated person. She's goes and works out at 8:00 every morning, and she's constantly cooking her like healthy foods, and she's organized and has everything going.
Organized.
And for me, it's when you're in that low place, it's hard not to look at other people and feel like it's a reflection on you, or to feel like you're being judged because you can't keep up with the world.
And what makes it 10 times harder is living together.
Oh my gosh.
If we didn't live together, you could retreat to your own place and not be bothered by seeing my routine.
Fully.
It's seeing someone thriving when you're not,
Exactly.
and constantly comparing yourself to that.
Exactly. And like, you know, days where I'd be in my bed crying and everyone's laughing literally 2 feet from my door, like you everything feels so personal and like such an attack on like who you are and where you're at, and it just feels just overwhelming. Like, and I
I think people have this view of just like, shake it off, get up. Like, well, if you don't like the way you look, like, go to the gym. If you
And
don't,
I think that's also very like how we were raised as humans, because like it's not
rub some dirt on it.
Doesn't matter
Let's
what
go.
it is. Shake it off. You're fine.
Yeah.
I know your knee's broken, but like play anyways. You know, like
and to an extent, when I'm healthy, I am the queen of shaking things off. Like, you know, like I'll be like, ooh, that kind of stung, that's fine. Like, we're moving past it and whatever. But when you've gotten that deep into a depression, that's not an option. Like, just doing small things is a very big victory, and nobody's congratulating you that you got up and put clothes on, because in their mind they're like, well, duh, that's what we all do every day. But in your mind, you're like, I'm trying to be present, and I just need someone to throw me like a lifeline of like, hey, I see you, I acknowledge you, like, oh my God, like, how are you, what's going on, you know, like some type of a normal interaction, instead of the glances of like, oh, hi, like, how are you doing? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And it's hard because like I always joke, like, I'm the most healthy, unhealthy person you'll ever meet. Like, even when I'm in rough places, I'm always thinking about like what people are feeling, and I'm able to self-reflect, and I'm very thankful I'm able to do that. So even in those moments, I'm like, this is not a personal thing, the fact that they're saying those things to you, but it's just, it can be deafening, you know?
Yeah.
So I think from what I'm hearing, she's balancing the best way that she can. And so I think if you have those conversations with her, it should be very gentle. It should be very like, I think your purpose should be to show her that you are waiting with open arms, with zero judgment, with just encouragement. You're not offering up any fix-it ideas unless she asks for it. And then once she starts to get like under her feet under her again, you'll be surprised at how fast that will flow, of like her being like, okay, like this will help. You know what I mean?
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
Best of luck.
Yeah, I think this is good for everyone to hear. I think we are a fix-it society.
Absolutely, we are.
And I even find myself sometimes giving advice too aggressively with people, where I'm like, did I really need to tell her like, oh, well, I heard that if
Here's
you do
plan
this.
A, here's plan B.
Yeah, like sometimes I think we need to remember like to listen for like the emotions in people's words, and not just like, oh, they're asking how to fix this, so let me just tell them what to do. Especially those that you see struggling. But
yeah, and I think it's really important, Anonymous, once you are able to articulate that to your roommate, to also be sure to focus on you. I know you're taking on a lot of your roommate's feelings, but what she's going through should only affect you so much. You still have your life, and you still have you to focus on. So once you connect with her and have that moment where you're able to be like, hey, I'm here if you need me, it's okay for you to go ahead and focus on you and check in on her, but continue to focus on you, because otherwise I feel like it's a slippery slope where you can take on too much of someone else's life, and that can dramatically affect you too. So take care of yourself also.
oh my gosh, yeah, no, totally. Take care of yourself, take care of the people you love, but it's that constant just checking in and making sure, you know, it's that whole, we talk about all the time, like put your mask on before you put someone else's on. So, but I feel for your roommate, and I feel for you, and I think that just us in general, I feel like mental health is something that we're focusing on a lot. So, hopefully she'll get to a place where she feels safe enough to ask for resources or help in certain things. But definitely sending you all the positive vibes. And everyone who's listening who either has someone who's struggling or is struggling, we all got this. It's just we gotta believe that there is like an end to it. You know what I mean?
And it's so comforting knowing that you're not alone.
Oh my gosh, no.
Obviously, you have two people who went through something very similar.
Yeah.
And from both perspectives. So, you're not alone. She's not alone. We're not alone, guys.
We're not alone. We did it.
Yes. Wow. Well, should we, as we do,
A dad joke.
end it with a dad
This
joke?
dad joke was specifically picked because I feel like it's meant for you.
For me?
Yes.
Okay.
Ready?
Yes.
I was going to tell a time travel joke, but you didn't like it.
Do you get it? Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
it's you.
Yeah. Yeah.
You don't like my dad joke. It's fine.
Everyone else your
does.
dad jokes, Taryne. Guys, thank you so much for listening to this episode. We love you guys all so much. You guys are the best. If you're still here for the dad joke, you guys already know you're our favorites. Don't tell everyone else. It's our secret. Be sure to follow us on socials. And yeah, we love you guys so much.
We love you.
Talk to you next week.
Bye.